Are you ready?
We're gonna put that in the video. Today we're gonna talk about the downside of being a full-time signing agent.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
What's up, YouTube? I'm Clarissa.
And I'm Lee.
And this is the Married Notary Show. Welcome. Like I said, today we're gonna talk about the downside of being a full-time signing agent. People often talk about the good and the potential, but today's video, we want to keep it real with you.
We'll keep it very real.
Like, really real with you. So, first off, one of the cons of being a signing agent is that it's really hard to plan your day, right? So, if you're someone who likes structure, it can be very difficult. Some days you can have no signings, some days you can have a bunch of signings that are last minute, which you can't really balance your day. If you prefer waking up to know what your day is going to look like, it could be difficult for you, right? And then we also have it's hard to take days off because if you don't work, you don't eat. And so trying to go on vacation can be a challenge because if you want to take a week off, guess what? That's a week of no income. So that's definitely one of the biggest downsides of being a full-time signing agent. So Lee's going to go ahead and talk about another point we have here.
All right, so number 2, the potential lack of security or the fluctuating income. So this kind of piggybacks off what the first one Clarissa was saying. And again, we're talking about being a full-time signing agent, right? Obviously, if you're doing this as a side gig, this may not affect you so much, but we're talking specifically for that. So in this one, you can make great money as a signing agent. You see it all the time. People talk about make $150 per signing, $100, $75 per signing, depending if you're working with a signing company or a direct title company.
Right.
But you can't really plan on that. Like you can't assume, I'm going to make $5,000 in 1 month,
right? Because
you made $5,000 last month.
Exactly.
Right? It can be pretty difficult to plan around that. Also, if you aren't good at budgeting, then this can be a tough transition for you because you have to have that cash reserve to cover those gaps. Because if you have that shortage, if you have certain business expenses, like maybe you're paying for an amazing car for your mobile office for some reason, or if you're a big spender and you need to be able to cover those gaps in your business, this could be a difficult one for you because it's hard to predict, at least until after you've been doing it for a full year in the beginning.
Okay, and the next point here is that you're responsible for your own benefits. So health insurance, dental, your retirement, your ROCs, all of those things you are responsible for because you're not getting a paycheck and your employer is not deducting those things. So you have to be really disciplined in taking responsibility and being able to do those things for your future. Another thing is that you don't have co-workers to work with. I mean, I have Lee, so that's great.
It's a lonely world out there.
But some days we don't work together, and so we really don't have the opportunity to create, like, in a sense, lasting relationships with the co-workers that we work with on a daily basis, like, going to lunch with them and things of that nature.
The potlucks and everything.
The potlucks.
The holiday parties,
Right, because
it kind of stops.
If COVID taught us anything, is that working from home, you feel more isolated. So for a lot of people that are working from home and now going back into the office, they're getting their co-workers. So that can definitely be another thing. Less social interaction in a 9-to-5 job. Right.
And then the last one here, we're kind of talking about, and this is going to encompass so many things. We were trying to figure out how to actually come up with a title for this.
Yeah.
But there's anxiety that comes with being a full-time signing agent, and there's a lot of different annoyances. I mean, just to list a couple of them, documents can be leaked. There's last-minute cancellations.
Yep.
You can print documents, and all of a sudden, that gets canceled, and guess what? There's no cancellation fees.
Right.
I wish there was cancellation fees.
I do too.
That's the one thing. If anyone's out there listening, y'all need to start all title company and
and lender and banks all across the world.
Y'all need to implement a cancellation fee. If you book me a week before and you cancel this in 24 hours, I need half.
It's been 24 hours. Got my money? Oh, you know what? Just give me till next Friday. I'll have it for you. Oh, that's funny. I could have sworn I said have it today.
But that's all I'm gonna say. I hope somebody hear that. All right, and then poor communication can be a thing, right? Yep. There's so many people involved in a real estate transaction, right? Yeah. You're dealing with the title company, the appraiser, the surveyor, the lender, the real estate agents, and all of them. There's so many people involved. And you're kind of just right there in the middle of it all because you're the one person that's standing right between it. So it can be stressful at times. Is there anything you want to add to that?
Oversaturation in the Florida market.
Oh, we talked about that.
We talked about that in one of our previous videos, but just oversaturation. So like that's definitely a con because you got a lot of signing agents, like we said, taking lower fees, and so that brings it kind of down, supply and demand for all of us. So that's definitely a con. So I mean, who is this business for, Lee? Then if has its cons.
I'm glad you asked. Yeah, you totally set that up, right? All right, but honestly though, this is very specific cons. We're talking about cons for a full-time signing agent. Obviously, if you're doing it as a side hustle, a lot of these cons won't apply to you, right? But this type of business is for someone who is entrepreneurial, someone who can deal with the ups and downs of being a business owner, because this is like any other business. You may not make the money that you think you're going to make in the beginning. You're going to have to really plan and develop that cash reserve, and that can be difficult. It's also, for the person who is thick-skinned, because again, real estate is a tough market in general. You're gonna deal with people who are upset, you don't know what they've been dealing with by the time they come to your closing table.
Short sale.
These people
bitter
are
about the situation.
No,
you don't know what you're gonna walk into.
Right. So if you are someone who is easily offended,
super
sensitive person, this can be a tough industry for you. But also, it can be tough if you're someone who strives on structure. Again, like we said, that income, it's a roller coaster ride sometimes. For the most part, once you kind of establish yourself, you can kind of bank on making a certain amount, but you're gonna have to hustle to make that certain amount.
Exactly.
Right? If you want to make a certain amount every month, it's gonna be some hustling. So that means you might end up being not as flexible in your day, right? So yeah, still a great side hustle for anyone who is doing this with a job, but having to pay for all that stuff. So just to kind of recap, right?
Yeah, but can I add one thing? Sure. I do want to add one thing. So also and the difference between working with direct clients and signing services. Like with the signing services, you can build rapport with them, but there's so many of them, you can kind of feel like you just become a number. So if you're a person who likes to have long-lasting and build relationships, and like to be told you're doing a great job, you need kind of that affirmation, you need that positivity after you've done a signing or something like that, it can be difficult because you can feel like maybe you're not being appreciated, and that can feel difficult for someone who's used to structure and being appraised. Being what word am I saying?
I know what you mean, like just being uplifted, just
being uplifted, or a pat on the back for doing a good job. It can be difficult because there's so many of us. It's hard to commend everyone. So, but in closing, though, Lee, what were you?
Oh yeah, so again, just to recap on the cons and the downside of being a full-time signing agent. Number 1, it's hard to plan your day.
Yeah.
Number 2, there's a potential lack of security, the fluctuating income. Number 3, you're responsible for your own benefits, and health insurance is high. All right, you
Very
understand
expensive.
that? It's expensive, right? Also, no coworkers, so you have less social interaction. And last, a lot of different just random annoyances that can just get on your nerves every day.
Yeah.
But we hope you guys enjoyed this video. We are going to be talking about the pros. I mean, we kind of beat you up with
So
those
there's
negatives,
hope,
right?
Because we're doing it.
Obviously, we still decided to go full time, so there are some positives here. And we're going to talk about that in the next video. So until then, like, share, subscribe. Get us out there, man. Share this with your friends.
Be encouraged, everybody. Bye.